You woke up this morning and that wave of anxiety hit you before you even opened your eyes. Maybe you had dreams during the night. Maybe you didn't even sleep. You feel like you've hit a wall, exhausted, crying for no reason, or just upset and wondering if this is ever going to shift. Everywhere you look, people are saying, oh, it's just the moon, it's the full moon, or it's an energy portal, or whatever you're hearing. Just wait for it to pass. But you've noticed that waiting for the moon to change or waiting for something to change doesn't actually change your life. You're still at the wall and the wall isn't moving, and any relief never lasts. You're on that hamster wheel. What if the reason you feel so flattened right now or frustrated isn't because of the sky, but because the way you've been holding yourself together has finally reached its limit? Today, we're going to talk about how to stop waiting for that all clear sign and how to find your own solid ground right now, no matter what's happening. If you're new here, I'm Wanda Vitale, and this is the Reality Architects. It's a community for spiritual people, healers, quiet world changers who are ready to stop living from old patterns and start creating their lives from the inside out. And I know this topic so well because when I was in my late 50s, life as I knew it dissolved, and I had to recreate my life from the ground up and from the inside out. So what I'm talking to you about today isn't philosophy. It's what works for me. It's what works for my clients. So why do we feel so tired? Well, we're tired of waiting for the moon to change. It's exhausting. Waiting for something out there to change wears us out because we're putting our own peace of mind somewhere out there. Could be in a teacher that you have, in the moon, in the whatever you think it is, a portal. We're told to just get through it. Just get through this portal and put everything on hold, and then we'll be just fine. But that's waiting mode. It's really no different than holding your breath and wondering why you're tired. You aren't doing anything wrong. You've just been given a map that doesn't lead to an exit. You're stuck in a hall of mirrors. You've hit a wall. And that wall is actually a good thing. It's a sign that you're outgrowing your old survival habits. It feels like you've hit a wall because your nervous system is trying to protect you by using old survival tricks that don't work anymore. The wall shows up when the part of you trying to figure out what to do next only knows how to protect you from risk, not lead you into a new life. Don't I know this one? We think, if I could just figure out what to do, if I just understood what to do here, this would change. But that's not the answer. When we hit a wall, it means we've reached the limit of who we used to be. I learned that I was powerless. I learned that I couldn't trust life. Those are some of the things I learned. You may have your own. You may have learned that you're not worthy enough, that everything comes from hard work. These are just things you learn. And right now we're being triggered to look at what's coming up, to decide, does this still work? And I can tell you that they just don't. So what do we have to do? We have to move from waiting for the intensity to go away, waiting for the full moon to die down. And instead, we learn to stand still with any intensity. We learn to be steady. We've been taught that we have to process or clear every feeling until it disappears. But that just keeps us in a loop of going back to the past, looking at why it happened, and we're just breathing life into the very thing of what we just want to move. It doesn't work. So instead of all that clearing and processing, we become the person who's steady while the emotional wave moves. Honestly, it takes about 95 seconds for an emotion to move through the body. If it's longer than that, you have a story attached to it. But all we have to do is feel the feeling, whatever that is for you. Intensity, frustration, sadness, anger, rage, unworthiness. It's a feeling and it moves in a wave. So instead of being a leaf in the wind, being blown all around, we become the mountain the wind blows past. So how do we do that? So when the anxiety hits or frustration or I just don't know what to do, that feeling, I've seen those comments from some of you, immediately acknowledge a part of me is trying to survive right now. Just acknowledge that. Feel what's there. Be present with it. Be present with it, meaning hand on heart. It grounds you. Yes, this is frustration I feel in my body. Stay out of a story. Yes, this is sadness. Yes, this is intense fear. Terror used to be my best friend for a long time until it went away. Come back to center, 3 deep belly breaths, and then ask, how would I feel if I really knew that everything was already working out for me right now? How would you feel? Would it feel like relief? Would it be peace? Would it be gratitude? Would it just be a little more space? Like, I can think now. Because literally that's what happens. When we get sucked into these very intense feelings in loop there, we literally do close off the part of our brain that can think. So space is a good thing. And then I want you to feel that, whatever it is, gratitude, some more lightness. Let that flood your body. Just bask in that for a second or two. And then in that space, your next step can land. And it does, whether it's an idea, a synchronicity, an opportunity, the cash comes in, the job offer that you've been waiting for happens. It comes in. It does. Don't try to figure out the next 10 years or 10 months or 10 days. Your job is just to stay present in the moment, to let that next step land. I promise you it will. The cycles of the moon will always be there. There will always be some energetic event that will stir up our old unresolved feelings, because that's what's happening now. But you will always be the anchor. You are always the one that gets to decide how stable your reality feels. And if this gave you a little more space today, I'm glad you're here. This is the Reality Architects, and I'll see you in the next video.